Hey everybody, Bones here, Bones Garage, just bringing you update what's going on at the garage. So 1956 Chevy Bel Air, the 4-door. Well, we have the transmission out, and it is a 4-speed. It is a T10 4-speed transmission from Saginaw, and that's the transmission right there. We started taking it apart, and when we first started taking it apart, the first thing we noticed is the counter shaft here, or the counter gear, the idler gear, whatever you want to call it. We were looking at it and you can see how ground, this isn't supposed to look like this. It's supposed to look similar to this, but with a little bit of an angle on it. So this way, the gears can slip in. And we were like, wow, that's not good. Then we started looking deeper into it, and we saw this gear here on the counter shaft, the cluster gears here. And as we went around, you can see how chipped and cracked all these teeth are. Well, those aren't the bad ones. There's the bad ones. Look at that. We are almost gone here. So yeah, it is. So we were gonna need this gear. We were gonna need the whole cluster set up because it's all one thing on the counter shaft. Which it's bad, and you can see it in there. You can see how bad those teeth are. Look at that. They are basically halfway gone. This tooth is halfway gone. This tooth is just about, and this tooth is about a quarter of the way gone, and all of the rest of them are just chipped, damaged in some way. So those were no good. And then we get to the slider gear, which if you look inside of it, that is supposed to be perfectly smooth. And it is not. You can see how beat up that is. So by the time we would have taken this thing, finished taking this all apart, clean everything out, the tail shaft, the cover plate, the shifter cover, the housing, all the gears, get everything out of it, get it all apart, replace all the gears that are in here that are bad, replace all the synchros, these little brass things, and this metal. These are your synchros. Replace all of the keepers here. It was just going to be way more than what it was worth. By the time we got it finished, it would have been somewhere between $1,500 and $1,800, because once you get everything apart, you get everything all, you take it over to the parts cleaner, you clean it all off, you got time into that. And again, time is money. It costs a lot of money to stand around with a brush and just do this to get all the grease, all the dirt, and you see all the dirt in here. There's all the dirt right there. You see it right there? Inside there, all that metal that's inside the case, it all has to come out. You can't just leave it in there. You have to clean it really well, and that takes a lot of time to do that, and then put it all back together. So a friend of a friend turned me on to another guy who had another T10 transmission that he just had rebuilt. He brought it to a transmission place. They rebuilt it for him, and I got the whole transmission for about $1,200, which was about $300 less than it would have cost to do the other transmission. So we went ahead, picked it up, and even if it had some small problems with it, had a brand new gear cluster in here, I had the reverse counter, I had everything, or the reverse idler, I had everything I needed here if we needed to. Another good thing about this transmission, and you can tell because the input shaft here has no grooves in it, no cuts. This was an 8-cylinder transmission. This was on like a Chevy 350 Chevelle or a Camaro. When I went to pick it up, I was talking with the gentleman. He brought me around to where the car that this transmission came out of, and it was a 1968 Chevelle. So I was like, oh, beautiful. So we got an 8-cylinder transmission. It's got a little bit, they'll hold up a little bit better to a beating than that one will. And that one, I'll tell you why, because this one is actually out of either a Vega or a Monza, which would have been a 4-cylinder, probably in the mid 70s, late 70s. when they were doing these, and you can tell because it is a 2-groove. See the groove here and the groove there? That's a 2-groove. So it is a not as strong a transmission. It's just not as good of a transmission as that one. That one was made to be put behind an 8-cylinder, whereas this one really was made to be behind a 4-cylinder. The T10s are still not a very hugely strong transmission. They are a good transmission, but they're not a great transmission. Muncie, M20, M21, those are great transmissions. They are really strong, much stronger than the T10s. Then you come into the 5-speeds, like the TKOs and stuff like that. Those are really good transmissions, really strong, very nice setup. So there you go, guys. We got another transmission for the 55. And yeah, we're gonna put it in there. So yay. Alrighty, I'll keep you up to date as we go. Have fun. I know, another long video. Okay, bye.